My beloved child, do not be afraid when you hear my voice echoing through words of warning, for within all that I speak, there is no shadow of destruction, only the fire of love calling your soul to return. The threat you sense is not the hand of my anger, but the sound of a father's heart breaking as he sees his child walking toward the edge. When I say, if you do not turn back, darkness will consume you, it is not a curse. It is the moment I grasp your hand to pull you away from the cliff of despair. I warn because I love. I speak firmly because I know what waits for you outside my light. If I were silent, letting you walk freely into deception without a word, that would be the moment you should fear, for then my heart would have ceased to call you. But as long as you can still hear my warnings, as long as my words can still stir your spirit, know this: I am still here. I am still fighting for your soul, still trying to wake you from the sleep of sin. Do not fear when my words strike your heart like a bell of awakening. Do not hide when my light reveals the corners you have tried to keep in shadow. I do not expose to shame you, I shine to heal you. Every warning I send is not a verdict, but a map leading you home. I see your weariness, I see where you have fallen, and I understand that sometimes you long to rest in the safety of what is familiar. But my child, comfort is not your destination. I created you for more, to step into the promised land, where true peace and eternal light dwell. When I stir your heart, when I touch your fears, it is because I am awakening the strength you have forgotten. Every trial is not meant to destroy you, but to refine you. Every warning is not a threat, but a trumpet calling the courage within you to rise. Listen with an open heart, for every word I speak, whether stern or gentle, flows from the same source, love. A love unwearied, unchanging, and unrelenting. My child, the holy warning you hear is but the shadow of mercy stretched over you, reminding you that heaven is real, and so is the abyss. It is love's voice urging you to choose light, to choose life, to choose the path that leads back to my embrace. When you understand the truth hidden within your fear, you will see that there is nothing terrifying about my warnings, for they are simply love dressed in sacred severity, protecting the soul I cherish more than all creation. This world groans beneath the weight of evils that men no longer recognize as evil. Sin hides beneath the name of progress. Rebellion is praised as freedom. Deception wears the mask of knowledge. Darkness no longer conceals itself, it walks boldly in daylight, challenging truth and mocking conscience. The earth mourns, hearts grow cold, and many have forgotten the voice of their Creator. The schemes of darkness do not always appear in monstrous form. It does not come with horns and flame, but cloaked in familiarity, disguised as what you call ordinary. It hides in the weariness that makes you postpone prayer, and the wounds that close your heart, and the subtle whispers that say, "You don't need God to get through this." Slowly it makes you forget how strong you once were when you stood in my light. Darkness is patient. It does not rush to claim you. It waits for you to open the door. It plants tiny thoughts in your mind like dust. It's okay, everyone fails. Just this once, you deserve to let go. And from those dust specks, a veil begins to form over your eyes. You start to doubt, to grow indifferent toward what is sacred, and without realizing it, you drift away from me. My child, the greatest deception of darkness is to make you believe it does not exist. It becomes a silent shadow settling in the house of your spirit, like dark water seeping into the cracks you thought were sealed, stealing your peace without explanation. It does not arrive as thunder or storm, but as a faint breeze slipping through the smallest openings of your heart. It does not knock with violence, but with familiarity, with things you call harmless, with wounds you have hidden instead of healing. When you let resentment fill your heart, when lies and fear replace my promises, darkness begins to find its dwelling place. It does not break in, my child. It only needs you to forget to close one door. That door might be a negative thought you've held too long, a painful memory you've refused to forgive, or a harmful relationship you still allow to influence your spirit. Each small crack becomes a breach in the wall of your inner house, and through those breaches, darkness flows in. Once it settles, you begin to notice subtle changes. Patience fades, words grow sharp, and the joy that once made you radiant begins to disappear. It may convince you to turn off your light, to grow too tired, to fight, to stay silent, when truth should be spoken, to choose compromise instead of courage. It will make you question my word, and when your faith trembles, it takes its seat. And once darkness finds a place to sit, it does not need to destroy you outright. It only needs to make you forget that you have the authority to cast it out. The walls you build with your own strength, no matter how solid they seem, will tremble when the fierce wind of darkness blows. It begins by stealing your peace, dulling your prayers, and making you feel as though I have withdrawn, when in truth, it is your heart that has slowly drifted from mine. You think you are in control of your life, but you are being subtly controlled not by me, but by unseen forces you have allowed to enter. They bring emptiness, confusion, and a restless hunger that drives you to seek fulfillment in work, in people, and in possessions, instead of in me. I have watched many of my children fall into this deception. They no longer recognize darkness for what it is because it wears the mask of false comfort. It whispers, "You have lost too much already. There's nothing left to pray for, even as I am preparing a new season for you, a season of renewal and victory." My child, darkness cannot overtake a house where light remains. I have given you the authority to speak and declare, "The light of the Lord reigns here." When you pray, you are not speaking into the void. You are driving back an entire kingdom of darkness beyond the borders of your life. When you forgive, you close the door through which the enemy has sought to enter. When you give thanks, you ignite the lamp of faith that leaves no room for shadows. Remember, this darkness never conquers light. It only prevails when the light is covered, and the light within you does not come from this world. It comes from me, the one who breathed life into your soul. Therefore, do not fear when you see your home growing dim. Invite me and open your mouth in prayer, and I will rekindle the flame you thought had died. I will cleanse every corner, every level, every chamber of your spirit, not only the physical space you live in, but the spiritual atmosphere around you. Remove whatever draws you away from me, images, words, or habits that pull your soul toward shadow. Pray each morning not out of obligation, but because it is how you light the lamp that will guide your day. Read my word as one who drinks water in a desert, for every word I speak is life energy and a shield of invisible protection around your soul. I will remove the heavy veils and restore the air of peace and hope around you. Even the hearts that seem strong will tremble if they are not filled with my spirit when the night of testing falls. And the places you once called safe will not stand firm unless they are covered by the radiance of my presence. Let me restore the light within you, the light of joy, the light of kindness, the light of that pure faith you once had in the beginning. Remember the days when you prayed with your whole heart, when you trusted without seeing. Let me breathe life again into that faith. For the light within you is not something you created. It is the spark I placed there when I formed you. No one, nothing, no circumstance can extinguish it. Only you can hide it through forgetfulness. But today I say to you, remember, rise, shine, stand in your position as a warrior, not one who is cornered, but one who is chosen to lead, not one who trembles, but one anointed by my own hand. The blood of courage runs through your soul, not the blood of surrender, but of one who knows that every battle carries eternal meaning in my divine design. You are not here by chance. Your very existence is part of my holy plan, arranged, prepared, and appointed for a mission only you can fulfill. Understand this, my child, a warrior is not measured by how often they avoid battle, but by how they stand firm in the midst of it. You have endured many trials, and every tear you have shed was not in vain. They have forged your soul into something stronger, humbler, more sensitive to the voice of my spirit. Every scar within you is not a mark of failure, but a seal of training. They do not make you weaker, they sharpen you like a sword that shines brightest after the fire. You do not fight by your own power, but by the authority I have placed within you. I have given you spiritual armor, the breastplate of righteousness, the shield of faith, the helmet of salvation, the sword of my word, and the shoes of readiness to carry the gospel of peace. Wear them, for they are not symbols but living power. When you declare my word, heaven responds. When you pray in faith, I send angels to move. When you stand firm amidst the ruins, the darkness retreats. When you take back your authority, darkness will test you. It will try to return, knocking with old fears, old wounds, and the echoes of your former self. But this time you will not be the same. For now you know how to guard the door of your house. You will not respond with emotion, but with faith. You will not react with anger, but with the quiet strength wrapped in my power. You will no longer flee because you know you are not alone. I am within you, and I am the light. Listen deeply to what I am doing in this moment, for it is no longer a quiet process. It is a bold and irreversible separation. I am dividing light from darkness. I am exposing what has been hidden in the gray zones of compromise and deceit. This is the season when everything blurred between truth and falsehood, between the sacred and the profane, between righteousness and sin, is being brought into clear light. The gray is fading not because the light is dimming, but because the light is becoming too radiant for ambiguity to survive. Boundaries are being redrawn not to reject, but to purify, so that people will no longer be deceived by the disguise of darkness wrapped in light. The world has long lived in that gray space where one can speak of me yet live contrary to my word, where evildoers justify themselves in the name of justice, and the righteous tremble to speak truth. But that time is ending. The light will no longer permit darkness to hide within confusion. Everything is being brought into the open to reveal its true nature, for I am testing all things by the fire of truth. This separation is not only happening around you, it is taking place within every heart. I am dividing light and darkness within each soul in their thoughts, their motives, and the way they choose to live. No one can stand in the middle forever. No one can love both me and the world. In this season, choice will no longer be symbolic. It will be real, unmistakable, and sometimes painful. The things you once tolerated, I will confront. The justifications you once made, I will illuminate to the root, so that you must choose to stand with truth or to fall into deception. When the light is restored, you will become a lamp for others. You will not only keep the light for yourself, but will shine it upon those lost in darkness. For I did not restore you merely to help you survive, but to make you a witness of redemption. The light within you will spread not through lofty words, but through the gentleness in the way you love, the patience in the way you endure, and the peace that remains unshaken even in the midst of storms. Walk with that light. Let every breath you take be an act of thanksgiving, and every day you live be proof that my love is stronger than any darkness. And when the world around you falls into chaos, you will remain in peace, for you will know your dwelling no longer belongs to fear, but to me. In the night of your weeping, I am planting the seed of an answer in the soil of your surrender. Your tears are never wasted, for I am watering the seeds of miracles with them. Let me tend to them in silence, and at the appointed time you will see new shoots rising from what you thought was barren ground. When you sit in stillness, I am arranging provision, positioning people, and preparing wonders that eyes have not seen and ears have not heard. Do not be disheartened when you see no sign of hope, for I do not work according to human haste. I move in the rhythm of heaven, where everything unfolds in its perfect season. Remember this: when you are silent, I am still speaking. When you pause, I am still moving. And when you think all is dead, that is when I am preparing new life to emerge. I know there are moments when you grow weary of waiting, but my child, faith is not born in comfort. It is forged in the furnace of trials, where every emotion and reason are tested. It is there that I teach you to see with spiritual eyes, to understand that faith is not built on what you see, but on whom you know, and that is me. Keep your faith burning like an oil lamp in the stormy night. I am there even in your tears. Not one tear of yours is wasted. Every time you choose to believe, all of heaven rejoices and hell trembles. Your faith, even if as small as a mustard seed, still carries the power to drive back darkness. Faith is not the absence of fear. It is the courage to stand firm amid fear and still say, I know God is here. When you say that, you open the gate to miracles. For miracles do not arise from perfect circumstances, but from a heart that clings to hope in the midst of chaos. Your faith not only saves you, but also ignites hope in other wandering souls. When they see you smile in the storm, they will know that God is real. When they see you give thanks in loss, they will realize that light still remains. And through you, I will reveal my glory. I am calling you to a place deeper than doctrine, beyond every form you have known, a place where only my voice and your soul meet face to face. There are no rituals, no patterns, no walls between heaven and man. There only my breath fills your heart, and my life flows from my word. Religion can teach you how to speak about me, but only true relationship allows you to hear me. And now I am awakening that fire within you, the living flame that has long been buried beneath fear, familiarity, and human noise. You once sought me in temples, in rituals, in memorized prayers. But now I want you to find me, in your breath, in your heartbeat, in the stillness between two tears. Religion may have made you think that I am distant, that I dwell only in sacred places, but I want you to know I am within you. No robes are needed, no candles required, only a sincere heart. When you whisper, "Lord, I need you," that is the very moment I am already beside you, listening and acting. Do not let religion make you afraid of me. I did not come to judge, but to set you free. I do not want you to kneel in guilt, but to stand firm in grace. When I say I am awakening, it means I am restoring within you the life that has been replaced by duty. I am calling you out of the land of dryness into the river of living water. My voice is not in the loud ritual, but in the gentle breeze, not in the crowd, but in the quiet room where you are most honest. When you hear my voice, even as a whisper, know that life is rising again within you. And then you will understand what I desire is not religion, but love. A love that is alive, powerful, and everlasting. I am not a distant God seated on a cold throne, counting your faults one by one. I do not stand afar watching you struggle in the dark, waiting to reach for you only when you have perfected yourself. I draw near, not when you are strong, but when you are weak, not when you stand tall, but when you fall, not when you shine, but when you are broken, for it is in that brokenness that I come closest, wrapping you in arms full of mercy. I know there are wounds within you that no one can touch, shames that make you hide from me because you fear I might be disappointed. But my child, I saw it all long before, and still I chose to love you. I do not withdraw my love when you fail, nor turn away when you are frail. It is precisely when you shatter that I draw nearer than ever. I stoop down, sit beside you, not to condemn, not to force, but to simply be, so you will know that even in your darkest night, you are never alone. My beloved child, listen closely. For this is not a soft invitation, but a command spoken from the heart of your Creator. I say to you, come closer still. Do not merely walk behind me as one lost in a crowd, unsure of where you are going. Hold fast to me as a child clings to their father in the midst of a storm. Do not only hear and let the winds of life carry my words away. Obey them, for only in obedience will you enter into the life I have prepared for you. Many hear, but few do. Many honor my name with their lips, yet their hearts remain distant. Do not be like them. Let your heart become one with my will, so that every breath, every decision, every step bears the mark of obedience. Understand this. This is not a time for laziness, not a time for delay, but a time to tighten the bond of communion between you and me, so that you no longer live by your own understanding, but by the breath and guidance of the Holy Spirit. I have endured the betrayal of the world. I have seen many begin with faith but end in doubt. Do not become one of them. Go deeper. Let your roots of faith sink into the depths of my heart. You will not stand firm on the day of testing if you do not learn to cling to me now. When the storm comes, only those who hold fast to me with all their life will be sheltered. Do not rely on another's covering. Do not think that walking among the multitude is enough to keep you safe. I desire a relationship that is personal, intimate, irreplaceable between you and me alone. Learn to hear my voice not only in moments of prayer, but in every ordinary moment of your life, when you work, when you speak, when you choose. I want you to recognize my presence in everything, so that you no longer separate the sacred from the ordinary. Do not let your heart grow cold. Distance does not begin with denial, but with neglect. When you stop seeking me, when you stop listening, when you think merely following me is enough, that is when you begin to drift away. Do not fear this closeness. It will set your soul free in truth. When you cling to me, you will learn the rhythm of heaven. You will no longer chase the calls of the world, nor be swept away by its illusions. You will become steadfast, peaceful, and full of power in my presence. Let your love be more than words. Let it be surrender. Let your faith be more than feeling. Let it be action. Do not follow me with your feet alone. Follow me with your whole heart. Do not listen to me only with your ears. Listen with your spirit. Do not cling merely to blessings, cling to the giver himself. And when you do this, you will see nothing in heaven or on earth will be able to shake you, for you will be anchored in my love, in my will, and in my eternal strength. I am leading you into a season of true maturity, not a maturity measured by years, experience, or human knowledge, but by the growth of your spirit, by the heart that knows how to listen and obey my voice in all things. This is not a gentle invitation, but a trumpet sounding in the urgent hour of the soul. For the days ahead will not resemble the days you have known. The challenges will not look like those you have faced before. I am training you not merely to stand among the redeemed, but to become a keeper of the sacred flame, one who guards the truth and light of heaven amid this time of chaos. You can no longer sit still, nor rely on prayers that have grown cold, nor live on the borrowed faith of others. The time of dependence is over. Now is the moment for you to rise in the strength I have already placed within you. The old prayers, though once holy and beautiful, are not enough to withstand the storms of the present. Borrowed faith cannot sustain you when darkness seeks entry to the very door of your heart. You must have a faith of your own faith, forged in the quiet hours and the nights when you kneel in prayer yet feel no trace of my presence. It is in those moments of seeming silence that I am training your ears to recognize my voice amid the noise of the world. I am calling you to participate in the act of protection, not to stand aside and watch, but to take part in preserving what is holy. I do not require human strength from you, but spiritual alertness, steadfastness, and readiness to act when I speak. This protection does not come through sword or might, but through holiness, through living prayer, through a clear discernment between light and darkness. Every time you choose faithfulness, you build a spiritual wall around your family, your community, your generation. Maturity in me is not about knowing more, it is about taking responsibility. I am shaping you, removing immaturity and dependence, and placing upon you the crown of the watchman. True growth always carries pain, because it demands you leave behind old habits, false securities, and face your own frailty. Do not let fear take root in your heart, for fear makes you forget that I am near. Do not let doubt hold you back, for doubt clouds my light. Believe that everything happening is within my hands. The same hands that hung the stars and shaped the universe are the very hands that now hold you. You are not forgotten or lost in the noise of the world, for I am covering you with a love that never abandons, and I am orchestrating all things for the good of your soul. There are paths I lead you through, not to test you until you break, but to reveal my strength within your weakness. You are not walking alone. Every step is carried by my love and guarded by my care. Let your heart rest in me, for my plans never fail. Even when it seems that everything is collapsing, I am arranging each fragment into a new and more perfect design. Some things you lose are not taken to harm you, but to make room for what is better. Some doors I close not to punish, but to protect you from what you cannot yet see. For I know your future, a future written in light and hope, and you will see every tear you shed will become a pearl of glory. Every pain you endure will testify to my love. Every silence that once frightened you will become the sacred space where my power is revealed. And when the time comes, you will understand not one prayer has been forgotten, not one sacrifice overlooked. Open your eyes and see the fire has passed. The ashes are still, and from those ashes light is rising. This is the moment I promised, the hour where new life begins. You are no longer the child of yesterday, no longer the soul marked by old wounds. You are being reborn not by will but by grace, not by your strength but by my breath. Now only what is pure remains, what belongs to heaven. In the dust of the past I have planted seeds of light, and now those seeds are breaking forth into life, radiant, free, and powerful. Look at your hands. They once trembled in weakness, but now they shine with glory. Look at your heart. It once lay broken, but now it beats with the rhythm of heaven. You thought everything ended when the fire raged, but that was when I began my work of creation. From ashes I called forth beauty. From ruins I built a new foundation. You are no longer ashes, you are light born from ashes. This is the season of life. The old has passed away, the new is arising. You will speak with a different voice, see with renewed eyes, and love with a heart made new. No longer afraid, no longer bound, you will walk as a new creation, reflecting my light in the world, and that light will never fade. You are my miracle, the child born from fire and called forth in everlasting light. Do not fear my warnings. My child, fear only one thing the day you no longer hear my voice. May the word of the Lord continually remind you to live each day in faith and in His love. Click follow and turn on notifications so that you never miss a sacred message of grace and truth. May the Lord bless you richly. Amen.